So due to the fact that they spent their morning state standardized testing, I had a lot of students not in my room who typically are, and I had another teacher students in my room. I thought it would be a great time to give them a brain break by showing a movie that related to what we were learning about in school. Other fifth grade classes did this as well. So I want to bring up the issue that I'm in trouble for. I was told by every teacher and mentor at our school that our method for approval by administration of showing movies was to have a signed parent permission slip for PG movies. I had that from the beginning of the year. The whole fifth grade team had signed permission slips for PG movies with no objections to specific content. I actually had one student who did have objection to specific content, not showing the Buzz Lightyear movie, but she wasn't in my classroom anymore, so it wasn't a big deal. The reason I was turned in is because one of the split students was a school board member's daughter. That school board member is currently on a rampage to get rid of every form of representation out of our schools.
Yeah, and that school board member has raised hell at this school, which is the Winding Waters K through 8th school, and it's out there in Tampa, Clearwater metro area. That school board member, who's also a parent, her name is Shannon Rodriguez. Here is a picture of her. This woman in particular, do not snicker. Now, she reported the teacher Barbee to the Florida Department of Education. And in response to Mrs. Rodriguez's complaint about Barbie showing that Disney film, the Office of Professional Practices Services launched an investigation to determine whether to revoke her educator certificate. Yes, they sent her this letter pictured here saying they're initiating an investigation over the film on whether showing that Disney movie, and also it could end up taking away Barbie's license. And this is wild in particular because Florida is in crisis right now due to lack of teachers. But anyway, they pushed forward. And so after notifying Barbie of the investigation, the school put out this statement. Yesterday, the Disney movie Strange World was shown in your child's classroom. While not the main plot of the movie, parts of the story involves a male character having and expressing feelings for another male character. In the future, this movie will not be shown. The school administration and the district's professional standards department is currently reviewing the matter to see if further corrective action is required. Now, again, if you're unfamiliar with Strange World, here's the picture of its cover. Yeah, it's about a story of a family of explorers, and one of the family members happens to be a first ever out gay character in a Disney film. And this family is going on an adventure to save their planet's energy source. I don't see the problem here, but of course, I'm not Florida. And on May 9th, the school board there, they had something to say, particularly Shannon Rodriguez, the board member. She stated this. It is not a teacher's job to impose their beliefs upon a child, religious, sexual orientation, gender identity, any of the above. But allowing movies such as this assist teachers in opening a door, and please hear me, they assist teachers in opening a door for conversations that have no place in the classrooms. As a leader in this community, I'm not going to stand by and allow this minority to infiltrate our schools. God did put me here. That is so incredibly interesting, since she just said it wasn't teachers' positions to force any kind of religion, yet she's out here saying God has put me here as a member of the school board to invoke her religious principles and force them on students, apparently. Well, Jenna Barbee, she wasn't having it, and she responded as such. A school board member, an elected official of power who was supposed to be nonpartisan, is allowed to present to the public that she is Christian and that God appointed her to the board. And yet it is indoctrinated that I showed a Disney movie. I'm a first-year teacher. Yeah, you don't have to be a first-year teacher, Miss Barbee, to have more intellectual brain cells than apparently everybody there who's allowing this nonsense to continue to go on. Anyway, so this complaint, it's coming because of Governor Ron DeSantis's Don't Say Gay bill. And also I would say his attacks on Disney, all and wholeheartedly unwarranted. But we definitely know that DeSantis is going out of his way to ensure that the LGBTQ community, as well as any other racially marginalized group or any marginalized group that is in Florida, wants to leave Florida. This is all being, discussed under the guise of parental rights, which is fun. Rayvana, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk for a long time about her hypocrisy and the way that it is breaking my brain right now. But one thing I want to mention is that she said that a teacher wouldn't be allowed to impose their religious beliefs on their students. And as our current legal system stands, that's true. But what they can do is teach about religion. They can teach that religions exist and that people have these beliefs. So even if you want to go down that road, having a movie that has a gay character in it isn't pushing a belief on anybody. It's showing that gay people exist, which is objectively true. So to sort of push the idea that that is forcing your beliefs on anybody is absurd on its own front. But also those same, religious people would be furious if we weren't teaching religious tolerance as it applies to Christians. Why can't we teach tolerance as it applies to people, who are a different sexuality than one another? Of course it's absurd, and all of it is just, it's a front to push forward their bigotry and their Christo-fascist agenda.
Absolutely, and it's interesting because they are pushing forward heteronormativity and all the other Disney classics. And Snow White, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, all of these things, well, that kind of pushes bestiality, but whatever, you know what I mean. The fact is that heteronormativity is offered and served up to kids all day long, and ain't nobody got complaints. But only when it's a marginalized group's form of love is that problematic.